The City Ground, Nottingham, after 23 years without Premier League football in this corner of the East Midlands, Nottingham Forest marked their homecoming with a 1-0 victory over West Ham United. A quartet of summer season signings proved to be the Forest heroes on a sweltering afternoon. Dean Henderson with a penalty save, Jesse Lingard and Nico Williams with standout displays, and Taiwo Awoniyi with the triumphing goal. "Catching up 23 years in 6 weeks" was the phrase coming out of the club this week, and that was evident in the starting lineup, featuring 8 new arrivals. The minor updates to the 124-year-old stadium were also evident, with a refresh of the facilities to bring it up to scratch for the large time after spending a generation in the English Football League. Thankfully, the modifications were not to the structure of the ground, as the noise reverberated off the steel around this old-school stadium wonderfully. Forest followers loved their day, even in temperatures of 32°C-90°F, by developing a buzz around the town beforehand and a deafening atmosphere at times during the 90 minutes. The Premier League is certainly a better place for it. Despite the heat, the first half had a nice tempo to it, with Forest making up for their lack of end product with plenty of endeavour. They commenced the brighter of the two sides, with former Liverpool man Williams carving out a few half chances for Awoniyi, with the number 9 failing to connect. Williams was a threat at times on the right flank, and Steve Cooper's 3-5-2, providing a degree of attacking quality above the men in front of him, however unmatched by Lingard. The England international was awesome through the first half, central to all of Forest's play. Lingard was constantly in space, played a few unsafe through balls, instigated counter-attacks, and tracked back throughout to help defensively, specifically on the left wing. He also caused an early yellow card for one of his former Irons teammates in Declan Rice, but the visitors' captain Gorgeous did not let that get in the way. From around the 20-minute mark, Rice and Pablo Fornals in particular started to get on the ball and dictate the midfield battle a little more. Forest's central pair began to sit off, allowing West Ham to begin carving out half chances of their own. Michail Antonio was one man struggling to get into the game at all, visibly annoyed at times, with the play happening 10 yards short of him and his few touches failing to come off. During the drinks break midway of the half, David Moyes was deep in dialogue with him in an attempt to rejuvenate his play. It did not work, and the ex-Forest centre forward then had one especially costly contribution. West Ham had an opener for Said Benrahma, who had begun the move himself with a wonderful solo run up the hole. However, the £18 million striker's efforts were rewarded with a goal that he did not know a huge amount about. Not that it will trouble him. He is the scorer of Forest's first Premier League goal in over 2 decades. Harry Toffolo made his way into the box from the left, where Forest had made hay a few times, finding Lingard in the middle. His ball ricocheted off Ben Johnson into the run of Awoniyi, with his stride having enough force to divert the ball past Lucas Fabianski in first-half stoppage time. Just after the break, Fornals struck the bar with a sensational long-range effort that bounced on the line before Henderson kept out the rebound. That was followed by Forest thinking they'd taken a 2-0 lead, only for a second goal of the afternoon to be brought back by VAR. Brennan Johnson, who'd struggled in the opening period, devoid of an ending touch, lifted the ball over Fabianski well after being teed up by Aurel Mangala, but was slightly offside. West Ham then hit the woodwork a second time through a Benrahma free kick before the crafty winger, his urgency the perfect antidote to the Irons' general patience and poise at the City Ground, burst through on a brilliant counter moments later, squaring for Tomas Soucek. The Czech's effort was handled by Scott McKenna needlessly, as Henderson would have saved it anyway, and a penalty was awarded after a VAR check. Henderson, with a massive point to prove after speaking of how unfairly he believed he was treated by Manchester United last term, stepped up to spare McKenna's blushes. However, saving the spot kick from Rice. One of the division's premier midfielders, and now taking the responsibility following the retirement of Mark Noble, telegraphed his effort to the goalkeeper's right. Alongside Lingard, the ex-Red Devils were proving to be the heroes for Forest. Williams provided a couple more moments of inspiration during the second half, firstly creating a great opportunity for Moussa Niakate at the back post, and then denying Zouma at the other end with a goal-line clearance. West Ham had the Lions' share of the attacking third possession, but never truly looked like turning the screw as the sleeping giants from the East Midlands held on, even with an agonizing 7 minutes of added time. New signings Gianluca Scamacca and Maxwell Cornet came off the bench for the visitors to little effect, and Moyes' boys are left languishing with 0 points from their opening 2 games. For Forest, meanwhile, it is a dream home start to life back in the big time. Alongside the settling in of the incoming transfers, more of which will arrive, their form at this cauldron will be absolutely crucial to any survival bid. First half, we were much the better team, we took the game to West Ham. There was the occasion and the football. The atmosphere was superb anyway, but that raised it even more. We should have created more. We were by far the better team. They had a couple of breakaways. We could have been more streetwise. Second half, the plan wasn't so much to sit off and see out the game, but I recognize why the team had to play with a bit more caution. We had to show heart and soul, with suitable technical and tactical defending. We should have scored from set pieces in the second half. We knew the squad overhaul was coming. We were prepared for it. We have a way of working. We did not play very well towards Newcastle United and lost. We did play very well today and won. Training this week has been brilliant. I really like the identity of how we labored this week. We go back to work tomorrow and get ready for the next game. Henderson was excellent. He looked a really good goalkeeper. His distribution was good, his decision-making was good. He was good tactically, with his positioning. He did well final week, he did well this week. You need goalkeepers to have big moments. He did have some today. That's his job, he did it well. What he will do is review the game properly and work even harder this week to keep improving. That's how we work. We knew it was very vital today. I told the players there were 3 generations of supporters here today. I would like to dedicate the win to all the supporters who could not get here today. We could have quadrupled this attendance. That image of the Brian Clough stand, the 2 tiers, is some sight that the older generation will recognize. This is a ground that can help you win games. We're going to try to win every game, particularly here. Lingard showed really good moments today, his movement, his tactical work. He balanced off his game staying with midfield players and being with the 2 strikers. There's so many of our boys who are not 100% fully fit. Mangala made his first start today, and he has only been in training a couple of weeks. It's another step forward to becoming a fully blown team. I'd like to make a couple more signings, yeah. I hope that everyone is looking into why we have to make these signings. It's a real necessity, we had no choice. There'll actually be some ins and outs. Oni was good. He was a real handful, with his tenacity, his general movement. He had a real impact on how we played as high up the pitch as we did. He's settled in well off the pitch as well. It felt like home straight away. David Moyes' post-match reaction very frustrating. The first 20 minutes frustrated me. We were really poor. We grew into the game. We did not deserve the result, this is for sure. Forest were powerful, strong, wanted to pick up the first ball and second ball under pressure. The ball should have gone in. We made enough chances to score and did not take them. We were a bit slow in pre-season, we're a bit behind it. Cornet and Scamacca could have began today. They're getting closer. For both, It is a lack of minutes in pre-season. We're not worried. Maybe they're not prepared to play 90 minutes. Manuel Lanzini took the penalty kicks and scored them last season. We had Declan in mind today. No, that does not imply he'll be on them all